Hello everyone, welcome to today's Idiot Games Direct on the 1st of February 2020, so first Direct of the year. Today we've got quite a few things to talk about, including Counterpush, Color Swap, eSports on the server, Minecraft Sunday and Bingo, as well as what's coming in the future. So there's a lot of cool stuff we're going to talk about today. This won't be too long of a direct compared to like the previous ones, but it should have a lot of cool stuff in it. Anyway, without further ado, let's just get right into it, starting off with Counterpush. Alright, so let's talk about Counterpush. I wanted to do this in November, but for IdiotCon, I didn't have it ready. I didn't think the game was ready enough, but now I think it is. It's finally time we leave beta. February 4th, in 3 days, we are releasing Counterpush Update 1.0.0. It's finally here. We're done with beta, and we're now ready to head into release versions. I think that the game satisfies all the requirements that I wanted when I envisioned it being released instead of just in beta, like it's always been. So, how will updates work going forward, you might ask? Well, as I said at IdiotCon, I'm sticking to this. There will be balance patches every single Tuesday. So starting the Tuesday after, really, but really this Tuesday, there will be a new balance patch every single week. Every Tuesday we'll tweak a couple kits, maybe tweak a little bit of the maps, maybe something else. Maybe, obviously fix some bugs, but we'll do that bug fixes could happen anytime. But really, the big updates, the balance patch are coming every Tuesday. So watch out for those in the TIG's games channel on the Idiot Games server. But anyway, for new content to the game, every month, the first Tuesday of every month, which includes, of course, release version 1.0 on the 4th, there will be one new kit. And unfortunately, we do not have this ready for this update, but starting in March, on March's first week of March, I'm not sure when that is, there will be one new map as well. So one new map. So starting in March, one new map and one new kit. It's going to be awesome. So 2020 is going to be packed with Counterpush content. We will release all the E-kits between now and June, and all the F-kits will come out between July and November. There might be one additional kit that could come out that might actually replace one of the current ones, but I'll talk about that when the time eventually comes. But there's one kit I'm actually looking into replacing completely, but maybe keeping a little part of it and giving it to another kit, but I'll talk more about that at a later date. But anyway, new content's going to be coming out the first Tuesday of every month, new balance patches every week. It's going to be awesome. But the kit we have coming out in 3 days, which will actually be playable today, right after this presentation, I actually have it enabled in the game. It's already built and been tested, and I think it's ready to go. Anyway, I'm going to pass it over to later me, as I'm later going to demonstrate this in the game. And you will see that right now.
Alright, so this is Trickster E, the newest kit to Counterpush. I had a lot of fun making this one, and I can't wait to play it. So, let's have a look at these abilities. So, obviously, it's a Trickster, so we've got a golden sword, just like the rest of the Tricksters, because they all have the same sword. Anyway, this ability I have in my hand, this potion is actually not a potion, it's actually called a remote bomb. So, this bomb, when you throw it, throw another potion, or press the right click button again, and it'll actually detonate midair. It has a 9-second cooldown, and it's actually pretty cool. So let's try that again. So let's throw it, and then boom, detonate. Throw another potion, detonates it midair, and it does damage to enemies as well as adds a little bit of a blindness effect to them. Now, it's important to know you can actually also damage yourself with this, so got to be careful with it. You can't just throw it recklessly. It will not damage your teammates though. It'll only damage you, and it will damage enemies, of course. Now, this bomb is actually not just that kind of thing, because you can actually put this on walls. Now, it will detonate automatically after 20 seconds, but you can also, of course, detonate it whenever you want with right click. You throw it by throwing the other potion. You can detonate it whenever you want. So maybe you could put it on a choke point here, but you can actually stick this bomb to anywhere. So maybe I want to stick it right here. So that way, as when the enemy walks through, this will actually catch them. It's in range. When they walk through, boom, it'll blow them up. Now, it does 3 hearts of damage, so it's not really too much, but it will definitely put them off a little bit. Which means you could just launch this right into the front line and just blow them up like that, or you could try to put it in a bit of a sneaky spot. Now, enemies cannot actually see your enemies will actually they can't really see that sparks. They can't see that critical sparks, so they won't know it's there, but your teammates can also see it as well. But the enemies will not be able to see it unless they see you putting it there, of course. But they will actually not see it there. So they're just walking by casually and then oh boom, it hits them. Right when they least expect it. So that's called the remote bomb. It's a pretty cool ability to the game. I've never had anything just like it, but I think there's a lot of cool uses for it. You can blow it up wherever you want or detonate it midair immediately. 9-second cooldown after being used, of course. Now let's put this little blue zombie here. So this zombie will actually fight alongside. Of course, obviously he's not going to attack me now because I'm on his team, but if I were to be on the enemy team, he would definitely be going after me right now. He has a gold sword, so he actually does a respectable amount of damage. And of course, he's got blue armor. Obviously, I'm not going to kill him because he's my zombie. Now, if he were to die, he would actually lose. You get a 10-second cooldown, but you can also retract him manually, which will give a 4-second cooldown. I should also mention you can't use your remote bomb when you're holding your second slot, so you can't. So it's going to kind of disappear if you do that, just so you know. Now, as for the final, you can summon this big guy right here. That's right, a charged creeper who will fight alongside. So you can send him in. When the red team or the enemy team, when they come to point, they'll be like, "Oh no, it's a creeper," and then they'll blow up and they'll be dead. So yeah, it's a really cool ability. And your final expires once he's killed. So I'm just gonna kill him right now because I can. Please don't kill your own teammates. Your trickster will not be happy with you. And then finally, your final expires. If you die though, your final should not expire, and I haven't actually tested that yet. Let me do that right now. So just to review, remote bomb, put it wherever you want. Boom, summon the mini zombie, and then I don't have my final right now, but then of course put the charged creeper. So yeah, a lot of cool things with this kit. Can't wait to see it used, and I think it's going to be a really fun one to play. So once again, that's Trickster E. It's going to be really fun. So yeah, back to you, real life Isaac.
All right, now let's talk a bit about esports, primarily counterpush esports. So going forward, I'm going to be hosting a number of matches throughout the year, probably on Saturday afternoons or whenever works for everyone, which will be counterpushed either, first to three, first to fours, and so on, with set teams. So kind of like long matches. Teams will be decided, of course, in advance, and I will be adding ways. So if you have a team of 5 or 6 and you want to fight another team of 5 or 6, you just got to talk to me, and I will try and arrange a time for everyone. But I'm willing to host a lot more matches, like you saw with the Counterpush World Cup. I'm willing to do this a lot more often going forward, and I'm excited to see who steps up to the plate, who will rise, and who will be the best of the best. So I've officially divided it into Tier 1 and Tier 2. So Tier 1 is like you saw with the Counterpush World Cup finals. There are 9 players in that who are now banned from playing in Tier 2, unfortunately, or luckily for you Tier 2 players. You do not need to worry about these 9 players, who I will show right here in case you want to see. So if you are one of these players, I'm sorry to say it, but you are not allowed to play in these Tier 2 tournaments, as I'm sure you know already. But anyway, as for the Tier 2 side of things, you will be allowed to play against other Tier 2 players, or you can challenge a Tier 1 player, or a Tier 1 team if you really want to do that. And if you prove you are strong enough against Tier 1 opponents, you might actually join Tier 1 and become permanently like a Tier 1 player yourself. But for the Tier 2 scene, it is a great place to build new talent, get tournament experience, and eventually climb up the ranks into potentially Tier 1. And I think it's going to be really cool seeing what kind of strategies and stuff goes on in Tier 2. I think it's going to be a really great thing to watch. I am planning on hosting the first Tier 2 match sometime later in February. I'm thinking on the 22nd or 29th was probably the best days for it. So it's one of those days we will be hosting a Tier 2 show match. So if you're interested, please let me know and I will get you on the list of people to participate. So we're looking for about the 10 to 14 people who are willing to play. Again, Tier 1 players banned from that unless absolutely necessary, they have to play. But even then, they'll be minimal. So they're not going to take over your spots. But anyway, you'll be playing against other Tier 2 players, so it's going to be really awesome for building skill. So I can't wait to see how that match goes when the time comes. More details about that specifically coming soon.
Color Swap 0.5 has been released with a bug fix and a brand new mode, Swap Zones, where you have to control an area of land making sure the enemy team doesn't take over. When you have covered a specific amount of turf, the swap zone will be claimed by your team, turning into your team's color and clearing out the other team's blocks. While under your control, you'll gain points, and whatever team's got the most points at the end will win.
Alright, so let's talk about Minecraft Sunday. And I first want to start out by saying I apologize for canceling it last week. I know some of you were maybe not too happy with me, but I think it would have been awkward to run it because it is getting changed starting tomorrow. So tomorrow, with Minecraft Sunday number 20, we are introducing a new format. Now, if you've been with me for a while, before I started doing Minecraft, even had the server, I think it was in late, I think like 30th of June 2018, I'd like to say, was the day I did that direct. You might actually recognize some of the words I'm about to say here, but it's time to say it again. We are now introducing 3 weeks of Minecraft Sunday. There will be a week A, a week B, and a week C. Yes, very familiar to some of you, but it's going to be a little bit different than that. Alright, so we'll be rotating through these weeks every week, and if I ever miss a week, so like let's say I do week A, and then I skip a week, we will come back to week B, the week after, not week C. So they will never be skipped, they'll only just be paused in this rotation of 3. And then of course when it goes to week A, week B, week C, and then it resumes back to A, there's nothing after that. Alright, so before I start talking about how these weeks work exactly, I should first talk about how the new Minecraft Sunday format is going to work. So, each week, weeks A and B will now have 4 games every week, and they will be the same types of games each week. So not the same games, but the same types of games. Let's go into week A. Week A will start off with a race game. We'll then play Bingo version 1, and then a party game, or miscellaneous, and then a competitive PvP game to finish it all off. I'll talk more about the changes to Bingo in a little while. Week B will start out with a party game, the miscellaneous. A competitive PvP game will go second. Bingo version 2, again will be talked about later, will go third. And finally, a race game will be to finish it off. So race games obviously are things like Hyperdrive, Biathlon, that kind of stuff. Party games are more miscellaneous, like Dutch Says or Sneak and Seek, and that kind of stuff. Competitive PvP games, that's obviously, your Counter Push, Project C, Tunnel Block. And then finally Bingo, well, that's Bingo. So there will be kind of a bit more of a consistency, so one of each of these types every single week, which I think will help balance out the games a lot more. Each of these games will be worth 25 points at max. So there's no chance to earn anything more than 25 per week. Not even any bonuses. Well, maybe I'll throw in a bonus once in a while, but really, 100 points is the absolute maximum you could earn, and that's a perfect score each week. Now, to compensate for this, I will be halving everyone's Minecraft Sunday scores. I think that these changes are necessary to keep the Minecraft Sunday scores a little bit more balanced with every week. So 100 points is now the maximum you can earn for each week. Now, you might ask, wait, what about C week? That is a great question. Well, C weeks will not follow week A or B whatsoever. The only thing that will stay the same is that the max score is 100, just like A and B, but that's about it. Week C could be anything. It could be a mini tournament. It could just be all of one game played in a day. There's a lot of things it could be. Maybe even a special thing, like I have planned a survival island challenge at some point. I have planned that and canceled it, but now I might bring it back. So that's the kind of stuff that could go in C week. So C week, it could be anything. Maybe for fun, we'll just follow a regular A or B week. Maybe not, but like it could be anything. I cannot guarantee that every game will be included, so there might not be a bingo, there might not be a competitive PvP like this one. There's no guarantees for anything. Those are only in A and B when those are guaranteed. So there's no guarantees. Like it could literally just be standing in the lobby for 3 hours, seeing who's the last to leave. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that at some point in the future, but I don't know. Like there's a lot of things it could just be. So you're just gonna have to wait and see on a week by week basis. So there's gonna be a lot of cool things in C weeks to do, but max score is 100 in line with the other weeks. Other than that, that's pretty much all the changes I have for Minecraft Sunday. So it's gonna be really cool going forward, and I can't wait to play tomorrow in Minecraft Sunday number 20, which will be an 8 week, by the way, just to start things off. Alright, so let's talk about the new bingo scoring system. Bingo version 1 and bingo version 2 are both going to be used in weeks A and B respectively, of course. But here's how bingo version 1 is going to be changed. So bingo version 1 is what we've been playing. 25 items on a card, collect everything, but chain bonuses are now being removed. So now you will only get 1 point for each item you collect. You will get a score between 0 or 1 if there's a free space, and 25. So this will help balance out scoring a lot more, so if you only miss 1 item, you won't get penalized as harshly for it. There will also be no bonus for completing, so the max score you can get is 25 if you fully complete the card. We're also bringing back the rule that if you fully complete a card and get all 25 points, the game will immediately end if you can prove to me you have all 25. So if you get all 25 cards, there's now no more extra bonuses added. If you can show me you have all 25 items, the game will immediately end and everyone will be sent into the results room if your group finishes quick. So if you're quick, you can prevent anyone from getting a perfect 25. So only one team can get a perfect 25 score. So don't worry about everyone getting a 25 now. Also, the time limit will now be limited to 30 minutes every single round. So 30 minutes might be real time, but I might also take a few minutes off if the game is lagging and that kind of stuff, but it should be around 30 minutes in length, or if it's going too quickly I could add more time back on, but I might play with the time a little bit, but it really will be 30 minutes every single week to collect all 25 or 24 items. Once again, chain bonuses don't matter, so if you miss 1 item, you're only getting 24 and not 25, so it's really not the end of the world anymore. As for bingo version 2, bingo version 2 was only playable solo, so there's no teams involved whatsoever. If you do team up with someone else, I will zero out your score, so you really don't want to do that. Anyway, there will be 2 rounds played, which will each be 15 minutes in length, or about 15 minutes. Again, might add or remove seconds if it's running too slow or too quickly. Anyway, there will only be between 3 and 5 items to collect. Each item isn't necessarily worth a point, but instead here's how it's going to work. If you are the first person to finish, you will get a point for every player you beat. Second place will get 1 less point than you, third will get 1 less than you, and so on. At the end of the 2 rounds, the player with the highest amount of points from both rounds will get 25 points, and we will follow along the normal distribution which we use for other games, like Dutch says. We'll follow the normal distribution of points, and then you'll get up to 25 points if you win, if you're the best average across both rounds. So it's kind of like that. It's pretty simple. So solos only, no teaming, unless you want to get a 0. And yeah, that's about it for bingo 2. So it's going to be a little bit more fast-paced. So only 3 to 5 items to collect. So really not that much to do. But it's going to go a lot faster because you're going to be racing in a bit more intense heat. So it's going to be, I think it'll be better for some people, but some might like A better, some might like B better, and that's okay. It's good to have your own opinion. All right, and that's about it for bingo version 1 and 2. All right, and the last thing I want to talk about today is Doggo S. I don't have any new information besides this one screenshot you're going to see right now. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? You don't know any context of the screenshot though, and I'm not saying any, so you can interpret this however you want. But Doggo S, we're working hard on it. We do have the official name, but we are all going to still be calling it Doggo S because that's all we've told you. And the official name will be released later, as well as a direct dedicated solely to that game will come out at some point. We really don't have a release date for this game yet, but we're hard at work, and we're hoping to get it out by the end of this year at the very latest. But expect it sometime within 2020, but who never knows. If we have to delay the game, I think we should all be okay with that. The game will come out when it comes out. Anyway, that's everything I have to say today, so thank you guys all so much for watching. We'll be playing games on the server momentarily. I'm sure you should all start logging on right now, and let's have some fun. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys on the server, hopefully, and bye everyone.